My husband and I found out that I was pregnant in the beginning of 2021. So excited. Baby was great through every screening that we've ever done. Everything was perfect from a physical standpoint. The labor was textbook. He came into the world on October 21st, and I immediately felt love for him. But when I got home, I just felt lost. It felt very dark. I wanted to isolate. I started to have really awful, intrusive thoughts. What if I drop him in the pool and I can't get to him? It was those types of intrusive thoughts that I know now are completely irrational. What I've learned from opening up about my own experience postpartum and meeting other women who have struggled with either postpartum anxiety, postpartum depression, postpartum OCD, and even postpartum rage is that we're not alone. You're not alone. Just know that there are so many other women who have gone through this during the pandemic specifically, because these types of issues tend to grow in isolation. We are a generation of mothers who went through our pregnancy wearing masks and gloves and not going places, not socializing the way other pregnancies have played out in the past. And so that is going to bring unique issues for our generation.
There's not more of a push for supporting mental health struggles. I sense judgment because they don't know what it's like to be pregnant in a pandemic, and they have their own struggles, and everyone has their own unique story, but people who haven't been through this just really don't understand.
I know for me, I definitely felt unlike myself, and my anxiety was very heightened before even giving birth, and it definitely felt like that was pandemic based. I mean, I was just in such a state of, I can't go anywhere, I can't do anything.
Rachel Diamond and Jeanette Johnson both gave birth to boys in mid-2021, meaning their entire pregnancies were during the pandemic.
When we were finally able to have Theo, we were so blessed to be pregnant. That was when the media started talking about contamination and sanitizing your groceries and being careful of the surfaces you touch. And I became hyper aware of everything. All these months later, I was learning that I was suffering from contamination OCD. It means you are hyper aware of germs and the trail of germs and how that could affect, in some people, it's themselves or loved ones.
And for Jeanette, postpartum anxiety and depression with major fear of separation from her son, August.
When did you know that it was not, I hate to use the word normal, but it was an extreme level?
I think at 6 months, I had a very sort of natural shift in hormonally for me, and it felt like I, for the first time, came out of the tidal wave. I did think for so long that my feelings about the baby and wanting to be with him all the time was simply just that, oh, this is the love that people talk about. But there was so much darkness there and so many intrusive thoughts.
Now, studies prove they're not alone. According to research from the University of Michigan School of Nursing and Michigan Medicine, 1 in 3 new moms experienced postpartum depression in the early parts of the pandemic, potentially tripling pre-COVID numbers. And a separate study from the same group of researchers found those who gave birth during the first 6 months of COVID reported more distress and anxiety.
I had heard all about postpartum depression, but I feel like postpartum anxiety is not really talked about.
It's not, because a lot of moms are not open to talking about this because it kind of gives them that guilt or shame type piece of, I shouldn't be feeling like this, so I shouldn't talk about it.
Sharing these stories and hearing them from other women is so important. The solidarity in it, I do think that talking about it is so healthy, and it really helps move you forward.
I realized that I needed help when we were doing something out as a family, and I had a panic attack in public. And I had thought that I could work through it on my own until that point where I realized I am losing time with my baby just because I'm so wrapped up in all of the what ifs.
We normally say new moms, you go through an adjustment period, right? And if you don't feel these feelings of postpartum depression around sadness, around crying a lot, irritability, if you don't feel that immediately, some people feel that you don't have postpartum, but it can happen up to a year after giving birth.
This is beyond scary and beyond troublesome, and it's robbing me and the baby of this time together because I'm not able to care for myself in the most basic way.
I just hope that people who see this and maybe are struggling in silence, that they'll realize that it's okay to ask for help, that that there's always going to be some anxiety that comes with becoming a new parent, but if it's not at a controllable, manageable level, that it's okay to admit that, and it's okay to seek help. It doesn't make you less of a mom if you're going through something like this, and that there are ways to get help and get through it. You don't have to suffer through this.
Hi, I'm Channel 9's Kirsten Delgado. If you like what you just saw, make sure you like and subscribe. That way you don't miss any original content from Channel 9.